The American West is legendary for its tales of rugged landscapes, outlaws, and lawmen. But when these stories are rooted in actual events, they become even more compelling. Here are some great westerns based on true stories that bring the legends of the Old West to life. The life of Newton Knight inspires this modern western and documents his armed revolt against the corrupt Confederate government. The attention to detail, with the filmmakers consulting closely with historians and being transparent with their audience, they even had a sight with their script, makes this one of the most accurate attempts to capture the tumultuous time in America. Directed by John Wayne, The Alamo revolves around the epic Battle of the Alamo, which occurred in 1836 between the Mexican Army and the Texans. The film depicts the outnumbered Texan Army's gallant resistance, propelling the state in a unified stride toward freedom. The Alamo did take some liberties with the source, particularly in its depiction of Davy Crockett. Still, the movie is an impressive spectacle that is certainly worth checking out. True History of the Kelly Gang is a dramatized account of the life of the Australian bushranger Ned Kelly and his gang as they evade the outback during the 1870s. The movie took a lot of liberties and modernized the story, making it somewhat divisive among those looking for an accurate portrayal. Those looking for a more faithful adaptation of the Australian icon may want to check out Ned Kelly 2003 instead. But for pure entertainment, True History of the Kelly Gang is our pick. The made-for-TV movie, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, is based on D. Brown's 1970 book of the same name. The plot revolves around the USA's expansion into an indigenous territory and its effect on a chief and his tribe. While the chief resists, his senator counterpart ensures peace and prosperity. While somewhat limited by its budget, the production offers a fairly accurate portrayal of the book. This biopic is based on the life of American cowboy Frank Hopkins and his Mustang, Hidalgo. The film depicts Frank's journey to Arabia in 1891 to compete in a horse racing competition. While historians have disputed the story of Frank Hopkins and his horse as largely fictional, not necessarily capturing the figure's real history, the movie is an ideal Disney production, even if it is one of the more liberal interpretations of real-life events. Loosely based on real events that took place in the 1880s in southeast Arizona, Tombstone follows several outlaws who ran havoc in that belt. The film pits two opposing forces against one another, the troubled but heroic Sheriff Wyatt Earp and the ruthless Curly Bill. A standout of the 1990s and westerns in general, Tombstone accurately balanced real historical elements, especially the gunfight at the OK Corral, alongside stylized Hollywood action. This classic western, directed by the legendary John Ford, recounts the true life story of Cynthia Ann Parker, who was abducted as a 9-year-old by people from the Comanche tribe. In search of his nephew, a Civil War veteran, John Wayne, sets out on an epic journey spanning years, accompanied by his adopted nephew, Martin. While taking liberties with the real-life story, John Wayne's Ethan Edwards is entirely fictional. This epic revisionist western highlights the dramatic relationship between two outlaws, Jesse James and Robert Ford, and the incidents that led up to the titular killing. The attention to detail in this movie is impressive. It closely follows the 1983 novel of the same name by Ron Hansen, and much of the dialogue is taken from actual historical records. Besides being praiseworthy for its attention to detail, the movie manages to stay engaging off of the strong performances and gorgeous set pieces. The film highlights frontiersman Hugh Glass's daunting experiences in 1823. The Revenant treads right in the middle of a western and a survivalist drama. While it lacks the ideal topography of a western, it more than makes up for it with its raw and pulsating action sequences. While the core story of Hugh Glass is based on the true story of survival, the film did take several liberties with the character that were not universally appreciated. The movie tells the story of Wild West outlaws Butch Cassidy and his partner Sundance Kid, and their epic journey as they evade the authorities while being on the run. Considered by many to be one of the best westerns ever made, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid blended humor, action, and drama under the charismatic duo of Robert Redford and Paul Newman. Besides a fictional final showdown, the movie also stays fairly accurate to the story of Butch Cassidy and his gang.